the Department of Justice has officially filed a civil lawsuit against the state of Texas, claiming they are violating federal law with the barriers they have enacted in the Rio Grande River. This is part of the Lone State program Abbott has developed over the past 2 years, spending multi-billion dollars on it. This is the first time the DOJ has actually sued any part of that program. My name is Dina Sayegh Doll from MeidasTouch Network. Let's break this down. Now, first of all, when I took a look at this suit and specifically what they're suing under, I'm not surprised. We know that the DOJ under Merrick Garland is quite conservative of a DOJ, and they've been very slow to bring charges against Trump and et cetera. And so they're bringing this lawsuit against Texas is because it is such a flagrant violation of federal law. Them not doing it, I think, would have been akin to something like squatter's law. Like if you're not going to protect your real estate, you no longer have rights to it. That's how flagrant Abbott's violation of the federal law is here, and why even Merrick Garland was willing to go so far and sue Texas. What they are asking for is essentially for this 1,000-foot barrier that Texas has put up in the Rio Grande. It's interlocking buoys, and they're asking for that to be taken down and for them to be enjoined from ever doing that again. Prior to filing the lawsuit, they sent a letter to Abbott asking him to voluntarily take down the buoy. He declined to do this. Instead, he sent a letter back to President Biden saying, "We will see you in court." He loves this. This is just garnering him more media attention. Him and DeSantis have a competition in terms of how outrageous they want to be in flouting the law in order to get some good media. So he declined to do the right thing. Now we see this lawsuit, and it's filed in federal district court. So the law that essentially they are flouting is, we're stretching we're stretching far back here because it is from 1899, Section 10 of the Rivers and Harbors Appropriation Act. And essentially what it says is that, there's the bodies of water that the federal government control. You can't just go and build stuff on them, whether or not it's a port, whether or not it's, a pier and a navigable river, that these bodies of water are controlled by the federal government, and that is specifically they say that any plans that are going to be done within these waters have to be recommended by the chief of engineers and authorized by the Secretary of War. Clearly here, Texas did neither. They just thought they can go ahead and put up this 1,000-foot obstruction in the middle of the river. And, why not? Because Texas thinks they can do with it whatever they want to do. But there are such things as, laws, and the construction of bridges and the constructions of dams, and all of that is all governed by this 1899 law. And they clearly needed this kind of authorization. To me, this seems like it's going to be a slam dunk when they go to court on this. Beyond the obvious illegality of what Texas is doing, let's talk about the immorality or the inhumanity of it, because all of this is their way of saying that Biden administration is not doing enough for immigration. But their tactics, they're installing wiring, and they're putting more patrols and refusing to give water. And so many of these tactics are being shown by border patrols to be more dangerous for the immigrants that are trying to cross the border rather than helping the situation. That's what Abbott is saying in his letter. He's saying he's trying to help the situation, Mr. President. Don't you get that? But he's actually, we know, doing the opposite with kind of a lot of fanfare, so he gets a lot of attention. But those people who have had this incredibly treacherous journey from the awful reasons that they're leaving their homeland and coming to the United States, and now they're being faced with wiring and buoys and patrol agents who aren't giving water, and all these tactics that in the last 2 months have actually been escalating, according to people kind of there on the ground. They're getting worse. And so thank goodness there is something here that the DOJ is willing to do, even if it is the most conservative approach. They're at least willing to do something and, stop, making people who are coming here for suffering as being, pawns, as we've been seeing with DeSantis too, making them pawns, sending people to California, even though California is proudly a border state and proudly accepts migrants and flourishes because of it, not despite it. DeSantis and Abbott are so willing to overlook the humanity and do these kind of increasingly dangerous to the migrants tactics in their way of saying that they're trying to help. And so we're glad the DOJ has the law firmly on their side and they're willing to use this law. And this may be, hopefully, a first step at pushing back on these state governors who are trying to trample on the rights of the federal government.
Hey, Meidas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.